There's a whole bunch of people here watching. It's like a tour boat came in or something.
You guys to get one person off to walk each line.
Oh, okay. I was wondering about that.
Once you're here on the first one, and once it's all the way up, it's good.
Yeah.
Hello, and welcome back to Life 4.0. In this episode, we start our discovery of mainland Scotland, land of great music, ancient castles, and the backdrop for modern-day movie sets like Outlander and Harry Potter. We navigate sea roads through the famed Caledonian Canal, cutting through the heart of Scotland, with its impressively built locks and bridges, scenic byways, and locks of another variety, like the famous Loch Ness. I'll say at the outset that if you are more interested in a technical discussion about how to transit the Caledonian Canal, check out our companion video titled, no surprise here, The Caledonian Canal of Scotland, Tips and Tricks. Go ahead, you won't hurt our feelings if you head over there now. Okay, so we'll start our adventure in Inverness. Well, the adventurous sailing for us actually started in the Orkney Islands, which would seem like an easy hop, skip, and a jump to Inverness, but treacherous tidal currents can wreak havoc on boaters crossing the short but intimidating Pentland Firth, with some of the strongest currents in the world. We left from Kirkwall in a gale, not usually the best departure strategy, and we paid for it dearly, tearing our storm jib. But we sailed through the night to avoid upcoming headwinds, making the sea lock entrance at Inverness the next morning, and a timely rendezvous with our daughter, Alaska.
We wait here for a railroad bridge opening, which is straight ahead of us over there.
With Swing Bridge, it's just closing up there. They had a tight timeline. They only gave us like 8 minutes to get over here from the first lock because they needed to close the swing bridge for the railroad. And now our lock gate is closing. Crews are in a little better spirits now that we've done it once. We're experts. We're getting a quick bite of lunch, re-energized after being up most of the night.
Once inside the canal, the spacious Seaport Marina came into view, where an overnight is included in the Scottish Canal's transit license. We took advantage of the proximity to Inverness to check out the sights and to enjoy a stroll along the River Ness that passes through the center of the city. Back at the canal, it was time to closely examine the next 4 locks, called the Muirtown Flight. After a well-earned night of rest, we would tackle this big climb in the morning. We just finished going through the Muirtown Flight, 4 locks. 2 boats back there is a big tour barge, and they took up a lot of room in the lock. Sailboat right behind us, and the sailboat ahead of us. The 3 of us along the port side of the lock chamber. Looks like this would be a possibility for our first overnight. We're going to keep going, and just beyond here should be the lock that lets us into the River Ness and then into the Loch Ness. Business for sale. Look at that. Well, paint should be all ready.
just finished our last lock for the day, but coming over here, we're going to join up with the River Ness. So this is an elevated waterway that then spills down into this river. Oh, there's people fishing over there too. That's kind of freaky. Rapids and kind of a sluice goes down to an extremely shallow river. This is just sort of being propped up by a seawall along here. All right, so we are getting wider opening area here, and we'll be in Loch Ness here shortly. Weather is supposed to clear later today, so we'll hope for that.
Ah, the infamous Loch Ness. It stretches across nearly half of the Caledonian Canal, and while it looks narrow on the map, it is quite spacious compared to our experience inside the skinny locks and man-made portions of the canal. Alas, we did not see the Loch Ness monster, or Nessie, her more kid-friendly label used on stuffed animals throughout the local souvenir shops. But we did find the remains of man's struggle with man at the Urquhart Castle. Here in the 1600s, a small contingent of 100 Highlanders, led by Captain James Grant, were besieged, trying to hold on to the castle for their Queen Mary II. However, a large Jacobite uprising, seeking to restore Queen Mary's father, James VII, to the throne, successfully forced the surrender of the castle, not before their opposition blew up large portions of the grounds. Today, it is a popular destination for land-based travelers and the few that seek out its shores by kayak or by sailboat. At the far end of the Loch Ness, an upwind heading for us on a raw gray day, we eventually found ourselves at the charming Scottish town of Fort Augustus and our next canal challenge, a flight of 5 locks. But first, this beautiful village needed to be discovered. At this point, I wouldn't say we were becoming experts with the locks, but it definitely felt less intimidating and gave us a chance to more fully enjoy the experience.
Here's my able crew. Yes. Got a good crew.
West of Fort Augustus, the canal turns more remote and purely natural, with individual locks seeming to be carved out of a Scottish fairy tale, and canal banks hidden behind tall stands of trees, staring down on us like giants of the forest kingdom.
We're going through a really pretty area of the canal right now. It's narrow, it's quiet. So yeah, it's quite pretty through here, very peaceful. It's a little spitty, rainy, but this is Scotland. That's why it's so green. It's really nice. They have a bike, walking, running path that goes along most of the canal. We've seen campers, people in tents, hikers with big backpacks, a lot of bikers. So definitely a heavily used resource for the people of Scotland and beyond, like us. I think I hear a waterfall. I wonder if there's... Oh, yeah, I do hear a waterfall. Yeah, neat. So we're in Gare Lucky Loch, and there's a lock here, and then a swing bridge, and then another lock. We were in the lock with these guys for quite a while, so the nice thing is you get to meet people and figure out where everybody's going. It's enjoyable.
Got an ever so brief moment of sunshine there. By the time I grabbed the camera and came up here, it's clouded over again. But it's still beautiful. Plugging along on the man-made part of the Caledonian Canal here. We have a depth alarm of 2 meters, and the depth below the keel, and the depth kind of varies between 1.9 and 2.1. So every once in a while the depth alarm will go off, but it's not that bad. You can see down here how lower the land is, and there's a river down there as well. So this definitely was a man-made section. A little farming up here, cattle farming it looks like. Oh, there you can see some sun over there on that mountain slope. We're all done with locks and swing bridges today. We are going to a place called Banavie Locks. It's also called the Neptune Staircase. It's the last major piece going south westbound on the canal. 6 or 7 locks, maybe 8, I don't know, it's pretty big. But we're going to stop, take a pontoon at the top of the Neptune Staircase for tonight and explore around the town of Fort William before we head out of the canal on our 5th day underway out the canal tomorrow and make our way down to Oban. So it's like our last full day in the canal. Super beautiful, just a lot of like rural countryside around here, and super green because it rains all the time. I think it's been raining most all of today. Pretty steady. Every once in a while it'll stop raining, and a brief moment a few minutes ago where the sun came out. But we're enjoying these little moments of pause because it, even more so than when we did the Erie Canal, this feels like you finish one lock and you get things cleaned up and tidied up, and all of a sudden there's something else coming up. A swing bridge you got to call ahead for, or another lock, or special buoyed area you got to watch out for. This is like a spillover, it looks like, coming up here. Drain water out of this section if it gets to be too big. Yeah, I think I have a little place to open up that and drain water off. So we're taking in all of the pleasure and the scenery of Scotland here and photographing all of the beautiful spots. So our last full day on the Caledonian Canal.
Sometimes, faced with a big challenge, it's best to take a brief diversion to clear your head. And for us, this was a day trip on the local train. Astute observers may recognize the look of this particular train, one very similar to Hogwarts Express. And while we didn't exactly find platform 9 3/4, we did quite enjoy the exquisite scenery along the way. This journey ends at the small fishing village of Mallaig. And now it was time for the final act, all 8 locks of Neptune's staircase. Sea rows and a plethora of other boats all crammed in like the proverbial sardines.
There's a whole bunch of people here watching. It's like a tour boat came in or something. And they are closing the gates behind us. And then we have one more lock to do after this one.
At the bottom of the staircase, our work was not yet done. There are still 2 more locks, a wading basin, and finally the Corpac Sea Lock, emptying us back out into the tidal ocean waters. Our journey through the splendid Caledonian Canal was over, and another 30 miles placed us at the doorstep of Oban, with great transport links across Scotland. Here, our daughter took leave of us, and we continued our adventure of Scotland. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thanks for being a part of our Life 4.0. Be sure to check out our next video where we unlock the secrets of Western Scotland and the many islands that await the curious sailor. Lastly, if you have not already, please consider subscribing to our channel and commenting below. We always love hearing from our viewers. Until then, fair winds.